we all got tired of being a service provider in the freelance or the entrepreneur journey is very lonely. You need to come up and stand out with your character as a founder.
Sebastian, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, Antoine. Nice
All
to
right,
meet you.
so thanks a lot. You're quite a busy person. I mean, I just checked out. You've been the co-founder of Freela for a couple of years. You're starting a new stealth startup right now. So let's dive into the first one. Talk to me about Freela. How did you get started and what do you do exactly?
Yeah, sure. I mean, didn't start as a Freela. Freela started as another company that was, it came naturally as an spin-off from the company that I used to work 9 to 5. When I was working for that firm, my background is on part of my background comes from brand consulting. So I was lucky to be part of this firm that was holding contracts across the world, making brand strategy for foods and service and franchise in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia, Latin America, mostly focused on those international or emerging markets. And at some point, back on the days, my government, the mayor of the government was really push for bringing tech investment to my city. I'm from Guadalajara, so this managed to happen that Intel was there, Amazon was there, Oracle was there, but only hosting the headquarters for the tech side of the performance of the companies in Mexican territory. So then these developers start deciding to come as entrepreneurs and launch startups. And when they were coming to this firm that was doing brand strategy, it was quite pricey for them as an entrepreneurs to start the business. So based on that, I decided to start Ventures Lab that was focusing on how to deliver business modeling, brand strategy, for those great ideas that they were able to create on their code, right? So this firm or this venture lab was called Fish and Chips. I took some of the partners of that firm as an investors, and I create this with one of my best colleagues. That so me and Rodrigo, we've been together building stuff for the last 10 years. Um, and well, we did well. We had nice partners, but I get tired, or we all got tired of being a service provider. So this is the time when we decided to, after that, create fish and chips marketplace. So in that space, we were kind of doing the same, focus on SMEs, addressed by freelance consultants, independent consultants, and trying to match their needs based on budget and capabilities. Um, and this didn't went well. That was probably coming from services when we were doing so well, where we were selling services and providing only by 5 people and making actually great money, to put all that money into a development without testing the market, just believing in our ideation, believing in what it was a nice offline business, uh, thinking that just the sense of like making that digital will go and scale, um, happen, and it didn't work out. So
Sebastian, I want to stop you right there because this is such an important point because everyone who does a service business dreams of transitioning to like a SaaS or something else. And they always say, okay, with the service, my time is limited. So I can only
yeah.
give like 20 hours a day. But if I build a SaaS, I can scale it to hundreds of thousands and millions of people. But it's not that easy, is it?
No, it's not that easy, because there's some secret sauce on you actually being a human, and being able to sell your service on a one-on-one, that is not the same when you're trying to scale that, right? So at the same time that you have this magic to perform yourself and sell yourself and provide something good, it's also not as easy to transfer all that know how to digital place, right? Um, so after that journey, we have learned a couple of stuff, and one of the biggest discoveries for us was first, I think what we did well was pushing to be incubated in the right places. And we noticed that we were incubated not for the idea, we were incubated for the team that we were part. And one of those nice incubations, or like one of them was Jason Calacanis from All In podcast. One, not well known for being investor in early stages for Uber, Robinhood, Calm, etc. So he incubated me, and along with other, like I think it was 18 founders, he did teach me things about how to run a better digital business and transform my ideas. And also another incubation program from Latin America that is quite strong, is getting stronger and stronger, that is called Pigma in Colombia and New York. So these guys took us, they noticed that we were a strong team with the right credentials, rather because it was some track record, rather because it was some experience, or rather because we were some nice diplomas. Um, but they were bold enough to tell us that the idea was not working, and that probably we were just looking at like some nice discoveries that happened in that process. And this is what happened. We noticed that we wanted to be part of the freelance economy. We realized that it was a boom coming out there. So we decided to go ahead, and that was again, I think Antoine, now in my mission as a founder, I believe in these people that is solid. I believe in myself being solid and just be resilient. So we were never actually making it, but we were surviving every time.
Mm.
So we were able to learn. We were able to stay strong. So what we did was to learn to take the lessons, to never go again and like invest crazy money on the product before tested in the market. We decided to go with no code solutions and present something that, again, it was an hypothesis. It was something that was after the marketplace for the freelance, where you will not put all that energy and money on making the chicken and egg thing, like who's coming first. And we was your last, okay, let's just focus on the freelancers, and let's don't focus on where is already a competitive landscape. Let's just focus on what is happened after to these freelancers. So we focus on providing perks, solutions, a back office support. So the freelancer, after has the contract with a specific client for such a long time, the guys, they can just direct to them and send the contract directly, or send any kind of payment gateway that they want, instead of like the escrows on the marketplaces. So it was a whole solution on a whole back office suite and support for freelancer to not never feel alone. Like in the freelance or the entrepreneur journey is very lonely, and we were just trying to build these tools for them to always kind of feel like
Mhm.
they were all the backup, right?
Sebastian, I want to ask you because you mentioned those incubation centers before. How much
Yeah.
did they really impact you? Because I'm getting mixed feelings about those incubation centers. Sometimes I hear, okay, it was nice, but it was not very practical. Sometimes I hear, okay, it changed my life. For you,
Yeah.
how much of an impact was it?
I think I'm on the side that I appreciate being part of them, because it gave me knowledge that I didn't have before. Like I don't know, like obviously if you coming from full tech background, and you actually part of like a lot of this processing, maybe you might not need those things, right? But as a brand consultant, focus on business development, expansion type of thing. My main core was more to understand business development, but then okay, how to implement technologies and everything. So I think I'm on the side to be grateful that they exist. I think you just need to be smart to choose those that will not take your time.
Mhm.
It's just to be on those selected in uh, programs that they are actually quite competitive, and you're gonna have great peers to share and to discuss, and then later down the line, these people, it might recommend you, or it might recommend nice talent to you or something, you know.
Before jumping back into freelance perks, I want to ask you about your relationship with your co-founder. I mean, all these pivots, you were still with the same person?
Yeah, yeah, like, man, I mean, it's funny because I went through enough to tell you that in this process I decided to continue my business than that finally get married with my fiance. She said to me, "I don't believe in your idea." I say to her,
Mm,
"Thank you so much, but you can," and then I don't finish the line. So so in that space, to put it in that perspective, I've been sacrificed a lot, man. Like, yeah, a lot. Taking in consideration that my journey as an entrepreneur is in another country that where I'm from. I'm an expat. In this process, it took me 2 years back to go back home. When I was in a moment that every single penny that I was getting, I was putting in my business. So, like, going from Dubai to Mexico, it was, the prices. So at least you pay two K for a ticket flight. So for me, it was this time where all the money was going to my business. After 2 years with a different phase, succeeding in what I was doing, I went back home, um, and my mom got cancer, and he only stayed with me 6 months. Then I was entrepreneur, and I was lucky enough to be fully with her for 6 months. But this is the level of sacrifice, and I'm saying this to reference because in all this time, it's only been a couple of people, from the friend side or from the family side, but also one of those that I need to pick that is in my three fingers is my co-founder, right? So this is how deep and how important is for me to be first good with him, and then the rest can be eventually will be good.
mm. Yeah, I mean, it really shows that a co-founder is not just someone who has complementary skills. It's someone who can actually support you through the emotional roller coaster. You mentioned loneliness, but I'm sure there's a lot of other emotions that come up during your journey.
Yeah,
Sebastian, I want to ask you a bit about this freelance market. There's some
yeah,
giants. I mean, as soon as someone says freelance, there's a few names that just come up. So
yeah.
where are you positioning yourself compared to these big companies?
Yeah, so I always believe that the only benefit that you have on what you're building against big giants is that you are a little fish in the tank and you can move faster, right? So we decided to go one step after they close contracts in marketplaces. So first, we didn't want it to be fully compared to them. We were more like, okay, the guys do marketplace and this work throughout, an escrow. We are this membership for the freelancers to not feel lonely, right? To not, and start providing solutions and services to them. So then, when you look at the dashboard of Freela, you have all these solutions or benefits or perks, that a freelancer or a nomad can get. So it is from payment solutions to bill collection to sales to things. And then one of the opportunities, and this is actually when everything happened for me, that was giving us numbers of users, but the
Mm,
platform was not engaging with the user. So the narrative was strong enough for the ad spend to make the conversion to happen, but then the solution itself or the product itself, it was not good enough for them to use it on a regular basis. And for me, like, just everybody, or like a good mentor of me say to me one time, two ears one mouth. So I'm more like a person that I like to listen what is happening, what we can do better, So we did this, and we put a button in the dashboard, and in this dashboard the button was for visa and banking services. We noticed by data that freelancers, it's too hard to get banking solutions for them, and also to move abroad and to have that global mobility. I was in this rush of like making it, not making it. And then I found, and this is coming not from your tech by the book shit, and this is when you need to come up and stand out with your character as a founder, and see from where that is not by the book things can happen for you. And this is when I saw an interesting industry performing so well in Dubai, where I'm from. I reckon where were my skills as a founder to make business develop on the offline side of things. And I went to pitch my idea of what was happening in my solution to the industry of migration by investment. And it's actually migration by industry. It starts in Canada, and it develops throughout Canada, UK, Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai as the main clusters of it, considering also in that space Panama and the Caribbean for different purposes. One is more focused on passports, the other is more focused on business setups. And and we just decided to also become an expert in that industry, because it was what the freelancer was clicking the most in my dashboard. So basically throwing the coin to see what happened. This is when we approached one of these biggest firms, and we got partially acquired by them.
Were you aiming to get partially acquired, or did you just want funds, or was it the best offer on the table?
That's the purpose. That's the purpose, and that's, I mean, right now, as you mentioned, I'm running two companies. One that is Freela. I'm still like the one of the major shareholder, but uh, in we going through a handover to get fully acquired, and that's also why my career is taking to a new venture.
Sebastian, I want to ask you about the new company. Is it also based in the UAE?
Yeah, yeah, it's fully dedicated to the UAE as well. Now, just to go back a little bit to what is happening with Freela, this big group of migration by investment come to acquire part of the company. So now Freela is still focused on the segment of freelancers and independents. It just now includes different categories, such as it can be influencers, it can be coaches, it can be e-commerce owners, it can be solopreneurs, and just breaking down all these segments. And we offer two type of services. So we do global mobility services that focus on like more lifestyle, where a remote worker or a freelancer or an independent wants to live in a more like a nice lifestyle place, like Spain, Portugal, Bali, Dubai itself, or the other side that focus more on business setups, where Estonia, UAE, and Panama are the jurisdictions that we offer, most focus on um, performance, right? Tax performance, etc. And
Yeah, I mean,
w-
I was just gonna say that this is kind of where the world is heading right now. Everyone wants to become an entrepreneur, but I don't know if calling a freelancer an entrepreneur is correct, but in many ways they are, right? They might not have an established company, but they are working for themselves.
yeah,
So having the infrastructure for this, yeah.
and they need to do, you are freelance, so you are solo, but you need to do the same things that as a company, because you need to sell, you need to make sales, you need to make bill collection, you need to send contracts, you need to do admin, and then you need to deliver. So that's kind of like where Freela looks, and trying to support all that backup for them.
You know what, I'll end with a bit more of a personal question. As someone who comes from the other side of the planet, how do you feel about the future of the region, business-wise,
It
specifically
is
the
here.
UAE?
It is here. No matter what is happening next to us, that is unfortunate. um, it is here. It is here. This new venture I have, it's focused on two heavy industries that are happening. One is a full emerging thing technology, and the other one is a whole sector that impacts with 12% of the GDP in the country. So I'm just basically connecting AI technologies with hospitality experiences throughout concierge traditional service. So I'm just trying to digitalize and scale concierge service. Um, but is this the region, man? Like, I mean, 3 weeks ago, the commitment between NVIDIA, OpenAI, and G42 on behalf of the UAE authorities to build the biggest AI data farm of the size of Monaco, right? Like it's just like and
Crazy.
and yeah, and then it's competitive. You have I think last year more I think was 86,000. No, sorry, 8,700 multimillionaires moved to the city. So you can see that things are moving. You can see that as you yeah, it is a competitive landscape, and it's you can feel that could be oversaturated with stuff, but still it's a lot of people to come. You have now the most visited city in the world with Dubai, 18 millions a year. So it's another demographic for you, right? When you launch something. So it's no,
I mean, I guess with all these millionaires and billionaires moving to the city or visiting the city, a concierge service makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Sebastian, thank you so much for doing this. It was super interesting.
Thank you, Antoine. I'm giving some reference to my fellows. And as I say, thank you also to you for doing this, and it was a pleasure.